Thank you for coming here, our dear Kurd friends, because, you know, after all these 3 years that we started this way until here, that's the first time that I see one of our Kurds that are here are mentioning to Uurmalek. That's really interesting, and that's really nice. And some of your comments was, I guess, were not related in this Uurmalek issue, but just for a comment, you mentioned to Uurmalek, you know, past 3 years or 4 years, we had a lot of demonstrations in all South Azerbaijan cities for Uurmalek, such as Tabriz, Oormiye, Sulduz, and other cities. But I'm afraid that why our dear Kurd friends did not start any demonstration in their cities. And you also mentioned to Kurdovani. Mr. Kurdovani is a person that's really, you know, it's funny for me because he started in talking about Uurmalek issue with this sentence that the lake is drying, so let it dry, and after that we can put 3-meter dust in that, in the whole area, and we can start with building, you know, with trees, with everything. You know, that's really funny to state that. And last, you mentioned that the water problems in all the area in Iran, but I can't be angry with you because, for example, I mentioned just 2 months ago, currently we have more than 360 million liter in Bukhan Dam, but the Iran government just need 20 million, and that's obviously they did not open the dam to throw the water to the lake. So, you know, we have water, but we stopped it in dams.
I have a very quick question from Ms. Keriemli. You mentioned Persian regime, which is totally new to me. Actually, I want you to clarify this concept because in Iran, if you criticize the government, you will be suppressed no matter if you are Kurd, Arab, Baluch, or Turk, or Persian. So Persian regime is somehow weird to me.
Totally right. Obviously, Iran has, I mean, I cannot even write down a list of the human rights issues that Iran has. But the government of Iran lies on a chauvinistic policy that the people of Iran has only one identity, and that's the Persian identity. The children of Iran, I mean, if we just consider that 70% of the children in Iran actually has another mother language than the Persian one. And this is not something that I make up here. This is something that the former education minister himself pointed out, that 70% of the children that goes in school have another mother language than Persian. And considering that within the constitutional right of Iran, we do have the right of education in your mother tongue, but due to security reasons, we are not granted, our children are not granted to learn even 2-3 years in their own mother tongue. So this is the reason why I say that we have a Persian regime. We do not have an Iranian regime. This is my wish. I wish for an Iranian regime, for federal structure, where we have shared power, where we actually have mother language to all our children, where we have the right of education at higher levels in all language, where the culture and the history of all people are acknowledged and known.
Thank you. My name is Kadrevan. I'm from the office of MEP Kelam, who is not in Brussels, otherwise he would be here, so I'm very sorry. I have a question that touches a bit on the whole regional dimension. What role, if any role, do the other regional powers, such as Turkey and Azerbaijan, do they have any dialogue with Iranian authorities on the environment, or at least on the population part? Is there any role in that?
Yes. No, there are no talks. Both Turkey and the Republic of Azerbaijan does support the movement of southern Azerbaijan, but unofficially and not by government, by the people. So no, in Turkey we are considered to be separatists, we are considered to be pan-Turks. In Azerbaijan is afraid, and we understand Azerbaijan is a very young government, it's a very young democracy, and it's important here to know, and this is a very interesting fact. Iran is the largest Shia Muslim country in the world, right? And Armenia, who is in war with the other Shia Muslim country in the world, namely the Republic of Azerbaijan, is Iran's closest, how do you call it? Ally in the region. Russia, who is also, as you know, supporting Armenia in the matter of Nagorno-Karabakh, is also Iran's ally. So the political situation of the region is very sensitive, and I want to press one more time on the fact that all the nations within the country of within Iran has the same nations in the bordering countries. I mean, the Kurds have the Kurds in both Turkey and Iraq. We have the same in Turkey and Azerbaijan. The Baluchis are in two parts. So a conflict, a civil war in Iran would become a regional war, and Iran is playing on this fear, and thereby nor Turkey or nor the Republic of Azerbaijan nor another country can actually support us in this, because they are so afraid of this regional conflict. But as the previous speakers said, the salt will travel within the radar of 500 kilometers. So it will affect the whole of the region. This is not something that would only affect the southern Azerbaijan, the parts of in southern Azerbaijan. This will affect both the Republic of Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey, and Iraq. That's a fact.
Thank you. My name is Birsun Hussaini, and I'm representing the International Committee of the Democratic Youth Union of Iranian Kurdistan. And I have a couple of comments and some facts that I would like to share with you guys that are here today, because we are here. The reason that we are here because we are concerned about all the effects that the drought of Lake Urmia is bringing to the people of the area, and more important, all the people of Iran and the region. So let me start with the comments. I agree with both Ms. Ayada and Mr. Amir regarding the human rights issues in Iran, because it's not only affecting the Azeris but also the Kurds. That there are 9 million Kurds in Iran, and a lot of these Kurds are actually placed around Lake Urmia, and these people are affected as well as all the other nationalities that are placed at the area. And another thing that is very important is the strategy of the Iranian regime. The strategy right now for the Iranian regime is actually to stage a conflict between the people in the area. And it's the Azeris and the Kurds. They are the largest nationalities that are in the area. And just not that long time ago, actually a couple of weeks ago, as I remember, there was a conflict created by the Iranian regime, which was in a football stadium, where they tried to stage this conflict between the Kurds and the Azeris. And that's not the only time they have done that, but the drought of Lake Urmia will just make those issues much bigger, and conflicts between all the minorities and nationalities in Iran will just continue and go much further. So that's very important to also see that aspect of the problem. Some of the facts that I actually have, they have been stated by Mr. Kardawani, that is one that's a professor that's supported by the Iranian regime. So it's not something that it just something that we think or we know, but these facts have actually been stated by the Iranian regime. And one of these facts are, right now there's 53,000 wells in the area. And these wells, they maybe started from being only 50 meters deep, but right now the deepest wells in the area, they are more than 200 meters deep. And this is, it shows that because the water resources of the area are getting smaller and smaller, less and less. So another fact is actually there are 43 dams, and more dams are under construction or planned to be constructed in the area. And one of the most important issues here are all the water resources in Iran, because it's not only in the area where Lake Erumiya is stated, but all over Iran. And as it was mentioned by others here today, we are here in Europe, we are facing huge amount of people that are going to migrate to this part of the world if we don't take any actions. And the European Union is, in my view and our organization's view, one of the most important actors that actually can do something. I hear today that there's not any concrete actions planned, but if we don't do anything very, very soon, the consequences will be very huge, and some of them will be worse than what we are seeing in the Middle East today. Thank you.